December Hampshire Gilts. We're always known to sell the Hampshires a little bit later. We think with this sow line, it kind of works to the advantage of the buyers. Give them a little more time, let them see what you're dealing with, and we think that these 6 Hampshire Gilts are awfully good, and we like the sow line a great deal. 108 litters are what we're talking about. The 108s are sired by Roar. Roar's a boar there at Heimers. We decided, talking with Jesse, he sent us a couple doses, and we just tried him once and settled, and darn sure glad we did. He thought we needed to try the boar, and actually got to name him because I was putting in the computer. I said, what are we naming him, Roar? And he said, yep, that works. So he stuck with him. Hogs have been very good, the ones we've seen at Heimers as well as our 1 litter here. So excited about this litter. Mother would actually be an Eduardo Click 285. Goes back to that Heimer sow that's kind of our foundation. Goes back to the grandma here. The Eduardo sow is out of that winter litter, or the summer litter we showed last year. Whitney Stevenson had the bear at Perry that was champion Hamp, and then 4th overall in the purebred show. Would be a litter mate to this one's mother. We kept all the gilts in the litter. The boys jackpotted a couple in the winter, and then Perry as well as Breeders' Cup. So good sow line. Excited about what these daughters are doing of the Heimer sow. We're going to start with a 104 or 108-4. 108-4 is one that's she's built awesome in terms of her look and design from the side. Not quite as big as her sisters, but man, she is awesome in her terms of her proportions. Her head and neck's good. She's awesome about her pastern set. One that I think square and level and correct. She's good out of her hip and hind leg, and I think a gilt that, as I said earlier, these gilts out of this line are a little later to come with muscle, but she's going to be ready early. She's going to be ready by April, no question. But still one that I think is mature and good looking enough that she'll last into the August setting, or dang sure July, depending on what your shows and your destination is. But I like that gilt quite a bit. Kind of one that's came on a great deal in a later find, but we like that one's future a whole bunch on the 108-4 Lot 9. Lot 10 is the -6 gilt. She's always been the biggest and the burliest, probably the most like the mother in terms of one that's awesome in her body, good looking, balanced, sound, correct, good hip and hind leg, and the Eduardo stuff has worked a great deal, and she looks a lot like that in terms of one that's going to be good all the way through, but her best days are matures because she's going to have the extra look, the flexibility, and the balance. But this gilt here does have a little more just grooved up shape and muscle than we're used to, and I think that's a good thing, and that'll work to her advantage if you want to show her a little bit earlier. But I think a gilt that's darn sure going to be ready by Expo in Louisville and be a big burly stout one that's still extended enough and not jammed up and too quick, with a good usable kind of a hind leg. And that's the Lot 10 gilt. Lot 11 is going to be next. This would be the -7. -7 and -6 are actually quite similar in terms of the way they're built. They've got a little more to them in terms of just bulk and center body and dimension. This gilt here is probably the biggest hipped of all the 3, and I think one that's still square enough out of her hip and hind leg. I think one that's good enough in terms of her movement, and she offers just a more power than everything else. She's been a little bit off here the last couple days, but gilt maybe just not feeling the best, but in terms of one that is naturally a little fuller than she's showing, but she offers some shape, some muscle, and some power. I think another gilt that's going to be an awesome one to jackpot early and show as a big mature one.